Choices in video games have been one of the most innovative ways of making players' experiences different from their peers. It's a way for game developers to give variety in their game's story and their gameplay. And with all the games that I've played, I've narrowed down 3 types of ways choice is used: through narrative, gameplay, and sandbox. Each of these types of implementations are original in how they shape the player's experience, and I'll be going through each one and how they do that. Choice through narrative is probably one of the most noticeable types of choices, as it pretty much lays out the options for you and is driven by story. In any story-driven game, you are the one making decisions on the plot, and the story will progress further on as you make those choices. Sometimes these games make you think out your choices before selecting them, other times you need to act on instinct. The Walking Dead video game Season 1 is probably the best example to make out of this. This game takes place in the Walking Dead universe, and you play as this guy named Lee. He's a convicted criminal for murder and is being sent to prison, but before getting to prison, the zombie outbreak starts and his escort cop car crashes. He then happens to stumble upon a little girl named Clementine, whose babysitter turned into a zombie and her parents are presumed dead. The whole story revolves around you protecting this little girl and making tough decisions that will impact her life and your relationship with her. The character Clementine gives you purpose to think out decisions clearly, because you're not only deciding for yourself, but for what's best for the little girl you're tasked in protecting. That's what makes this game so impactful, is that its characters like Clementine make you want to choose the best decisions while progressing towards the end of the story. Choice through gameplay can be described by how we choose to play the game, and it can be spread out through a variety of different ways, giving us many different tools at our disposal to utilize and letting us choose what to do with them. Some games will lock different abilities or movesets behind characters to give the gameplay a sense of balance so that you're not overpowered when you play the game. Other games will allow you to gain all those abilities over time. I find Obsidian's Fallout New Vegas to have a great sense of diverse gameplay, as you're given a bunch of different stats and skills to enhance your character. However, you only have a limited amount of points to put into those different stats and skill categories. For example, if you put points into skills like speech, barter, and explosives, you won't be able to do other stuff like repair items or make chems to buff you up, because your repair and science skills are not high enough levels. In a quest line throughout the game, your stats can sometimes make your experience doing those missions a lot easier. For instance, at the beginning of the game, a gang is going to attack the town you are in, and there are multiple ways of going about it. You can simply fight off the bandits yourself, or you can go around to the different townsfolk and ask for help. Since our speech, barter, and explosives are high enough, we're able to recruit people to fight in the battle, have the general store give out weapons and armor, and have the prospector dude give us dynamite to make fighting this gang a whole lot easier. Gameplay like this lets players have the freedom to course out how they go about overcoming obstacles, and gives the player replayability in trying out new ways to complete tasks on different playthroughs. Choice through sandbox is the freedom of exploration and being able to traverse the game you are in and discover locations and items found in them. Most sandbox games will have you able to build and destroy objects, letting you create pretty much anything you can imagine. In Minecraft, you can pretty much do whatever you want, build to your heart's content, and explore an endless world. While narrative and gameplay type games have you working towards a goal, sandbox games will allow you to do anything your imagination can think up. Other sandbox games will have you limited to only exploring the world around you and the locations that you can go to, like Breath of the Wild, for example. When you beat the tutorial for the game, they give you this giant map to explore at your own pace, making your choice of discovery totally up to you and where you want to go until you finally want to beat the final boss. Although the game will sometimes nudge you into the direction of the climax, you are still free to exhaust the game of its secrets and flex your creativity. All the types of games discussed in this video have their unique way of giving the player the ability to choose for themselves. Having the freedom of options instead of the linear paths other games has lets players utilize their decision making and imagination in creative ways. And when games use 2 or even all 3 of these tactics to make a game, it's just too much fun to see the variety of choices you can make playing in that game. If you decide to pick up any type of games like the ones discussed in this video, try asking your friends to play the same game and see how exactly they differ from your choices.